Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars Titanium series Naboo Royal Starship. Now this beautiful ship made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, believe it or not, this ship was actually released in 1998 as part of the Micro Machines Episode 1 diecast ships line. Then, years later, it was carried over to the Titanium line. So there's no real difference between the two. However, if you buy the 1998 version, it does not come with a stand. The Titanium version does, however. So when I got the Royal Starship here, I didn't have a stand, so I just took one of my extra stands and bada bing bada boom, it looks pretty good. For the size of this bad boy, it's a tad under 4 inches long, which is very nice for a titanium ship. So we all know the drill by now. We're going to take a look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, let's get this review started looking at the mold. Like in all my videos, I will go over all the major sections of the vehicle, and then we'll get a nice close-up look to see all the fine details. So let's get started with the dorsal section. We have our front headlights, looking good, nice and painted and recessed. Some minor line work or etching. Our cockpit / bridge. Back here should be a deflector shield generator as well as an astromech gimmick, and we'll look at that later. Then we have sensors, engines, and a heat sink on the back. Very nice. So for the ventral section, we have our hyperdrive engine, should be right here. We have an entry ramp that can move, we'll look at that later, as well as movable landing gear. Peg port for the stand, 4 screws holding it together, copyright crap. And then right in the front, we have our ventral headlights. All in all, a very nicely done ship, especially for 1998. So now, let's get a closer look. Alright, having a closer look, let's begin looking at the front of the ship. We can see some minor line work etched into there. Looking very nice. Then we have our headlights, which are recessed. And I always thought growing up these were laser cannons, but I was wrong. Moving back though, on the sides, we have some line work, which goes all the way up to the cockpit. Looking pretty good. Love this section here. Now the cockpit windows, they are recessed and they look great. Pretty cool. Now the line work does continue to the back of the craft. Looking very nice. I love the designs here. And the back always reminds me of a B-2 Spirit bomber. Mostly because it's aerodynamic looking. But pretty nice. So right here should be the deflector shield generator. And you can see this little door, which is mildly detailed. But put your fingernail under there and lift it up. And you have a little R2-D2. Not really detailed that much, but it's nice they added it. You can see his dome in the main body, but no arms or anything for the most part. Pretty interesting. So let's close that. And we'll look at the engine section. We do have some minor line work coming around. And then we have a seam line down here. But we have our sensors, the engine itself, and a heat sink. Now this piece is a rubbery material, but the rest is mostly die-cast. And the other engine is, just the same. There's not really any differences. But the paint match is very good. So for the bottom of the craft, we can see a seam line there, which, but what are you going to do? We have a screw, some landing gear, we'll look at that later. Our entry ramp. Let's take a gander at that. You can see some little details in there. Very nice. As we saw in episode 1, Qui-Gon jumps up here to escape Darth Maul. Nice touch. I would have liked if it was flush with the bottom, but, what are you going to do? Besides that, we do have some nice line work down here. The hyperdrive section, looking good. Copyright crap, 1998. Then we have more screws holding it together. Peg port for the stand. And some beautiful line work. I think this came out great. All in all, a very nice ship. So now let's check out those landing gear. Alright, let's check out these landing gears. So they come out pretty easy. Drag them out like so. We can see some minor detailing on there, and I think they look pretty good. I think the most detail is on the top here where it pivots out, but not bad. Now for the aft section, you can already see some detail there. Just lift it up like so. And you can see some detailing. Doesn't look bad. A little black hair there. Don't know where that came from. But looking good. And if you're curious, the inside is just raw metal. Nothing really to write home about. But nice landing gear. They all come out like so. Looking good. And if you're curious, it does rest on the landing gear very nicely. And that does it for the mold. Hopefully I covered everything. I know at first glance the ship looks like it doesn't have a lot to offer, but the line work is beautiful. Everything's recessed that should be. We have a lot of moving parts that we went over. All in all, I'm very happy with this baby. So now let's check out the paint. Now looking at the paint in the Naboo Royal Starship, this baby has 5 different colors, and I have to admit, I love the paint job. It's very simplistic, but it's nice. The main color on this is a beautiful metallic silver. I just think this looks great. In my opinion, beautiful. Then we have gray plastic for the landing gear, black for the cockpit windows, as well as the top headlights. And of course, the bottom headlights are not painted, which is a shame. Also, when we open up this section, we have white and blue for the R2-D2. Pretty nice. And that basically does it for the paint. All in all, I think it's a beautiful job. So now let's put this baby back on a stand and compare it to some other vessels before we conclude the video. And just like other Titanium series ships, it comes with a cool stand. Peg it in the port like so. And just like that, you're good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Titanium series Naboo Royal Starship seen in the center. On the left-hand side, we have the Naboo Starfighter, a great-looking vessel there. Moving all the way to the right-hand side, we have the Naboo Patrol Fighter, the N1 sister ship in ways. These are exactly the same mold, but I love these ships so much. Now, these are basically all the Naboo ships I've reviewed on my channel thus far, but trust me, I have a couple up my sleeve that are very unique, and I can't wait to get to them in the future. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Titanium series Naboo Royal Starship. A very elegant looking ship in my opinion. I love the design elements. And the Titanium series does a great job at capturing the beauty of this vessel. As we saw looking at the detail, it has some great line work. The windows, the headlights, everything's recessed. It has some nice recessed lines around the engines and the aft and underside of the ship. It's beautiful. Everything's there that should be, and I'm really loving this model quite a bit. Now for the paint, I think they did a great job. There's only 5 different colors, but they work perfectly. And don't forget, it does come with a nice stand that makes it unify with the rest of the collection, if you get the titanium version. And that's all I have to say today about this beautiful looking ship. If you enjoyed the review, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time. Bye everybody.